Hello and welcome to Talking Points, episode number 69. I'm Sam Spurs for Life, and this week's Talking Points episode, I'm going to have to sort out because I haven't got my mouse on me, but I'll sort it out very soon. Let's talk about Sess, Kane, and that starting. I tried to do a little thing there with Let's Talk About Sess, but it didn't quite work because I wasn't good there. Anyway, that's for another time. Before we start the show, I would like to welcome in the guests in the house. As always, we have superstars, Sid Spurs, Sean Hurl. Welcome, gentlemen. How are we doing? We good?
I'm very good. My first sight of Conti ball on Saturday. Yeah, looking good.
Looking good. I'm just looking at things. So I've got to go and get a mouse in a minute, but I'll do that very soon. Sid, how are we?
I'm good. When you started off with saying let's talk about Sess,
there you go.
I looked at the number of the episode as well, and I thought, oh no, please don't go there.
I did try a thing. I was like, let's talk about Sess, Kane. That's what I was trying to do, but it didn't quite work. But anyway, like I said, like the stream, like what I've just said, doesn't really matter. There's plenty of stuff that we chat about here. Make sure you also share the comment around, put your comments in the comment section as well, and we will do our best to get to them all. I'm having trouble because I'm going to go and get my mouse, but I'm going to start the show off and then I'll do that. Let us see. Okay, Sess and Emerson. Sean, you was at the game Saturday, the Rangers game. Performance-wise, yeah, I think we had so many chances in that first half. We should have been about 4 or 5-0 up at least. Surprisingly, we didn't see any of the new players start. I was a bit disappointed in that, but then I was thinking today, maybe Conte is trying to pull a fast one. Maybe he's trying to give the impression that they're not ready and letting others spy. Because obviously people watch our games, other teams, our rivals, and they might have a thing, he's not really sure about these players. So, come Southampton, it might be all different. But anyway, going back to the point, what did you think of the performance of Sess and Emerson?
Should we start with Emerson? That's because it's the easiest one to deal with, to be fair.
I guess we can.
I have to say, he's gone backwards on the tail end of last season. I thought his attacking moments in particular were so disappointing. We need fullbacks that are prepared to take a shot at the far post. I mean, the number of times that he got to the byline and wasn't prepared to take a shot was and that's part of the Conte thing. He wants fullbacks, to be running in on shots by the other fullback, so that if it deflects off a keeper, you're there to put in the rebound, or you're there to, if it's slightly off target, and you're there to slide in and get the final touch. And to be fair, Emerson was poor. I thought he was poor. Defensively okay, but then he's always been like that. But certainly in terms of the attacking third, he's just not what Conte needs. And I would not be surprised to see that they take up the interest of, the alleged interest of Atletico Madrid, if it's still there. Sessegnon, I've got some major concerns about as well, but for me, Emerson, if we're going to clear out one of the right wing backs, Emerson is top of the pile for me. For Sessegnon, much better in terms of the progress towards the box, but my concern is when he gets to the box, he just doesn't bet on himself. And there's people like Harry Brooks, the coach, who sort of says he doesn't bet on himself. And he releases the ball far too early. He doesn't confront the fullback before what he called the separation pass, which is the push it past the defender and turn them. He does it too far away from the fullback, which gives the fullback chance to cover, I think. early doors, he you know, he did a classic one, which if Sonny had just been, you know, connected with it, we might have scored very early in the game when we were carving them up in the first 10, 15 minutes. You know, I'm prepared to give Sessegnon time. There's no doubt about it that those hamstrings really hold him back. But, you know, he needs, I mean, if you saw what Perisic did in the second half, he took on full back and left him and then just put in a great cross for Richarlison late in the game. But, yeah, I'm sticking with Sessegnon for the moment. But Emerson, I'm sorry, I don't see a role for him. He isn't a Conte wing back.
I'm after watching that game, I've made my mind. I was not really on the fence. I was over the fence. I was on the other side. I don't think he's good enough. But now it's confirmed it for me. People say, "Oh, give him a season, give him this time." He hasn't. He's not a fullback. Well, he's not either. He's not a wing back. He's not a fullback for me because his defending is not great. And in attack, and I'll come to you next, Sid, because I just find that if you're going to play in a Conte system, you have to do something in that offensive third. Your defending doesn't have to be the best. So I wouldn't be overly concerned about his defending, but his defending is not great because he got skipped a few times and was having to recover. But his attacking, there was one point in the game when I said, watch this. We were doing the watch along. I said, watch this. He's not going to beat his man and he's not going to get a cross in. And so be it. He hit the ball straight at the defender. And I'm thinking, this can't be right. Then there's obviously the opportunity. He was in front of goal. Literally the last man in front of goal, he tries to square pass back and then the move breaks down. His confidence is not there, but his ability is not there either. I don't care what anybody's telling me. I've seen enough now over the season, over the course of pre-season and going into this new season. If he's starting fullback, wing back, should I say, on the right-hand side, we're going to have a lot of problems and teams will target that particular area. As well as what happened with Sess, because he had Sanchez playing on that side as well, he looked a bit shoddy defensively. And again, as you mentioned, Sean, confidence-wise, he doesn't seem to want to beat a man. He's not an aggressive player, and that's the problem. And I think when we read that article he was talking, he's not an aggressive player. He's not an aggressive person. I've seen a lot of his background stuff, and it's just not him. Sid, what did you think of the two wing backs? And then what did you think when the others came on? Because as I said, I thought Perisic was pretty good in the time he had.
I think last season we sort of realised that the fullbacks weren't going to be good enough going into this season if we wanted to win trophies. And the Conte showed as well that obviously the right back situation was more dire than the left back situation. However, pre-season everybody was expecting left backs and right backs to come in. So far, we've only got Spence to cover the right-hand side, and we've got Perisic on the left. Saturday's game, obviously. I mean, we've said all along, haven't we? Because I went to all the home games last season and that, and I did say as well that Emerson does not look like a defender or a Tottenham player, stroke Conte player, who's going to bomb down them wings, cross the ball in for your attacker to put in the back of the net. His decision-making is absolutely shocking. He doesn't know whether he's coming or going. And when he gets into that area, he just panics. On Saturday, you've just said it, Sam. On Saturday, you was all over him. And then that second-half performance when our right back actually went forward into the attacking position and the ball was played to him and we knew what he was going to do. It was a simple right foot, put your foot through that ball into the back of the net. If that was Trent, if that's Robertson, if that's Kyle Walker or, Cancelo or whoever, that's in the back of the net. But
I think if he's even an under-16 schoolboy footballer, I think they're taking a shot at goal. And this is the point. This is a pre-season friendly, Sid. If he hasn't got confidence to take opportunities, chances in a pre-season friendly, which really doesn't matter, only probably matters because I think he's playing for his Tottenham future, then we've got no hope.
Yeah.
I mean, the worst thing actually, guys, was pre-match. They were right in front of me. Royale was doing free kicks, of potential crosses, practice, and they were rubbish. Even in with no pressure, not even with a fullback in front of him. He wasn't, he must have done a dozen, and I think I can count on the fingers of one hand that the ones that were anywhere, decent. They weren't even making the center of the area, and they had no pressure. This was like practice, and I just thought, oh dear.
Yeah,
I thought it was just maybe the adrenaline when you're running. There's a defender ahead of you. You might excuse, but no, he just doesn't. He just can't kick the ball like a professional footballer. There's no pace. There's no height on them. There's.
But Sean, how was he? How was he in Barcelona's setup? Technically, you would expect a player of that who comes from Barcelona in terms of he's only 22. You'd expect him to have some technical ability. He's Brazilian, not to say that every single Brazilian player is going to have fantastic flair and ability, but you would expect him to have the basics. See, I didn't see even the basics.
All you can say is that Johnny Big Money, big wallet turned up, and they couldn't believe their eyes at the money they were being offered for him. I mean, he played 3 games, I think, for them. He was thinking he was staying at Barcelona, and they couldn't believe their luck that we've come along with a big dollop of money. And as we know, Barcelona are a mysterious basket case, shall we say, in terms of their finances. Yeah. And they couldn't believe their luck. I mean, we're not going to get our money back on him. I can't, Atletico might be interested, but they're not going to give us the 25 or whatever it was million that we paid for him.
Do you know what the crime is? The real crime is we gave away Sergio. Now, I know Sergio had his faults. We know what he was like. But in this setup, he was so attack-minded that his defensive side of the game was poor because of it. But he was then playing in a back four. So you can imagine. I'm just looking at Sergio right now. I'm thinking, I know he's probably not at the peak of his abilities, and he had his time at Spurs, but he certainly would have been a better outfit on the right. Sid, who do you think is going to start for us at right back? Come, Southampton.
I said to you a couple of weeks ago, and I said the other day as well, that I think Doherty is going to start because Spence, he done all right, but you can't risk him straight away. He's coming from the Championship, albeit coming from Middlesbrough, Nottingham Forest, who won promotion to the Prem, and he was, in the league, Champions League team of the season last year. But it's a big step coming from the Championship into the Premiership. I know Robertson done it, but he didn't come in firing on all cylinders. It took him a bit of time to get used to it. I personally think Doherty's going to be right back to start with, and Spence is going to be the backup. Emerson Royal is going to be probably put on the bench, in my opinion. Not on the bench, but I think, he'll probably be on the bench, but with a view to be sold. If an offer comes in, whether it's a loan one or to sell, I think we'll sell him. But for me, Doherty has to start because towards the end of the last season, Doherty did play well under Conte. Conte knew and told him exactly what to do, and he did that. And he played on the left side and the right side, and he done quite well towards the end of the season. So for me, I think Doherty will start, and Spence will be his understudy unless in the next game in the next final pre-season game, Spence has an absolute worldly, and Conte trusts him immensely to start him, but I don't think he will. I think it'll take him a couple of games to get into the system before Conte probably tests him and tries him out. But for the first game of the season, I think Doherty's going to start at right wing back.
I agree. And if we're going to give Spence the same amount of time and opportunities that Emerson got, he's going to have to take a year, because that's what Emerson's taken, and Emerson hasn't improved in that year. As Sean said, I think he's gone backwards as well, because for me, you've had all of last season. I know we started off shoddy, we had Nuno. Conte's coming. Conte's given a blueprint of how he wants. Now, I'll give Sessegnon his credit. At least he's trying to do that. He is getting past his man every now and again and trying to whip a call. He had an opportunity when he did try and dink the keeper in the second half. Or was it the first half? I can't remember. It might be in the second half. But I'm not going to give the same amount of time to Emerson anymore, because I've not seen him even whip a decent ball in that was deliberate. I think he can put a cross in, but it's almost like I hit and hope. I'm hitting an area. The cross that Perisic put in for Richarlison was on the money. The only player in that particular area on the money. So if he'd have put it in the centre spot, which everybody thinks is a great position to put a cross in, Richarlison wouldn't have been there because he was just to the right of the centre spot. So it was an accurate cross. Emerson has no accuracy. He is lacking in confidence, and that was clear to see when he was in front of goal. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think it will be Doherty that starts this. Let's have a look at a couple of these comments. So, David there, welcome, David. Also, welcome to Monjo as well. Mark P is in the house as well. So, we got those are the guys who are watching. Those are the only ones putting the comments. So, make sure if you're watching, because there's a few of you watching, make sure you put your comments in and also like the stream. Aurier was lacking in the main part of his body, and that was the 6 inches between his. I was going to say, where was that going?
Absolutely, absolutely. If he had a brain, he'd be dangerous.
Mojo Spence played 10 minutes, one cracking tackle in our box, and the end with Perisic's cross. He was behind Richarlison, where Conte wants him in the box. Again, people seeing where you want your other wing back. He was, because he's going to be very attacking. I want to see that. I don't mind if his defensive side breaks down a little bit because of his attacking intent. But I don't want to see nothing. I don't want to see neither attack or neither defense. He's got to be one or the other for me. And obviously in a Conte system, it's more focused on attack. David Clark saying, having watched football since 1961, I just have a gut feeling that Doherty will come good. I think Doherty's becoming good. A certain Mr. Hustler might not agree, but I think on this panel here, we may agree. Spence won't take a year. I definitely go with that. Even though from Kevin Murray. I'm not a cap.
Cop.
A cop. Oh, sorry. Cop. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Big up the panel from NS Sports TV as well. Thank you very much. David Clark, there's no C in Doherty. It's Doherty. So it's not Doherty. Doherty.
Doherty.
All right, then. Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. Anything more on the wing-back situation? I think Perisic kind of came good. For me, I as long as he's not injured, the guy's got to start 100%. There was an opportunity. Sorry, go on, Sid.
No, go on, Kevin. No, you finish off.
No, the only other thing I wanted to add was there was a part in the game where somebody else mentioned it on Twitter, and I saw it, but it was kind of like he was organising Sanchez to be in a certain position when we were defending, and we was defending a little bit deep. So he's obviously got that leadership quality. 34, 33 years of age, done everything. We need those leaders in that team, particularly in our back five, because when Dyer came up, we were lacking.
And at the point when as I was going to say, Dyer had come off, and that was really important that we had someone there. To be fair, Rodon did the job as well when he came on. I saw him organising people as well. Obviously, he was badly turned at one point, but I thought he did a reasonable job and put himself in the window if he's going to go. Wing backs for me, I know we're going to talk about the starting 11, but judged on Saturday's performance, for me, Doherty and Perisic, possibly Sessegnon for Southampton.
Perisic has got to start for me. Sid, what's your thoughts?
I think Reggie's finished. So Reggie's not even in the equation. I don't know what's going on there, but I think he's done. And I think with Sess, Conte sees him in a system that Conte wants him to play. So some of the things that Sess does in the game, I think Conte's told him or has given him the instructions to do that. And I think Conte is probably going to give Sess the season to adapt to how he wants him to play and also learn from the experience in Perisic, because you can't have a better wing back to learn from. Somebody who's done it in Italy week in, week out. At that age, he's been there, done it all. So I think Perisic will be our starting left back, and I think Sessegnon will be learning, will be an understudy, and he will be told to watch his game and learn, and also listen to what obviously Conte is going to teach him all along. So I think Perisic should start with Sessi's understudy, and I still think we're going to end up with another right stroke left wing back. Kostic is available. I believe West Ham are now looking at him after they've just signed Scamacca. So if Kostic is available and they're willing to sell and West Ham have gone in for him, we will link with this player.
You know where you've got to save that for, don't you, Sid?
I know. It's going to
Friday nights. We're going to go Friday nights about that Kostic, because I agree with you. If he's available, we need to get that player in, even if we're going to have an overload, because we have to get rid of some. We can't have 4 wing backs on the books. But one of them clearly, I don't believe, is good enough to play at the level. One's just come to the club. The other one, a bit of an injury at the end of last season, but he's probably the most experienced of the wing backs and has also played wing back for his old club. He just started off really badly for us, but he's improved. That's the difference. I've seen Doherty improve. I haven't seen Cessna improve. Anyway, let us move on. Something that should make us a little bit more happier. Our friend, our killer Kane. 5 goals in 3 games in pre-season. He's looking the part. The 2 finishes on Saturday. Sean, talk to me about them 2 finishes, because I looked at them and thought, hold on a minute. He's on levels here. He's on levels.
Before I start and talk about the goals, I have to admire the chutzpah of the young Rangers fans who had the sign saying, Can I have your top or your Rolex? like Harry Kane's going to come on the pitch with his Rolex wearing. I mean, it's unbelievable. I did like, it did make me smile.
That's quality.
That was quality. Yeah. I was directly in line with that shot, the first one. I mean, you know, literally he hit it. If the net hadn't stopped, it was going to hit me on the bonds, I think. It was absolutely world-like. You know, McGregor, who's no slouch as the keeper, even at his age, was left just grasping air. It was just perfect, a foot inside the post. He made Goldson look, shoddy. And I can't believe that they allowed him to be shown inside. But I mean, it just goes to show he's world class. He'll find the space, and what a shot!
Brilliant.
I mean,
and
just understated celebration as well. Kiss the ring and just, all right, we've only equalised.
Let's pre-season. Harry Kane's not going to celebrate like that.
If they'd been giving him the abuse that they gave Fraser Foster.
If it was Arsenal in pre-season, I would be celebrating like it was no tomorrow. Sid, what did you think? Because as I said, Kane's 5 goals in 3 games. He scored 2 against Team K, 1 against Seville, and obviously 2 again on Saturday. He took his chances well in the second half. The first half, we had a few chances. There was a couple of one-on-ones that he did have as well, but. Again, he's getting into the position, into the box for the second half. The first half, I think we discussed it in the watch long, and I said he's playing too deep all the time. And you were saying as well, we don't need him to play that midfield all the time, because sometimes our best goal scorers have got to be in the best goal scoring position. Usually in the box is where you score the goals. Sid, talk to me about Killer Kane. Is he looking like he's going to be quality this season from the start? We know that he had a bit of a iffy start last season. We know the reasons why. Is it clearly Kane, Killer Kane?
Is he looking like? What do you mean? Is he looking like? He has been. We've all known for the last couple of seasons, man. He's the man. He's the main man. His goal scoring record speaks for itself. His assists speak for itself. His England record speaks for itself. So it's just business as usual for the man. What's impressed me so is the fact that he looks a lot fitter and leaner, under Conte. He's going in the right directions. The things he's saying, this squad is looking the business. Under Conte, we're all so excited. There's something in the atmosphere, in the dressing room, in the club. This is a Harry Kane who wanted to go last season, right? And first month or 2, he went on strike on the pitch, and then he showed how good he is. Now he's on it. He's saying everything. For me, pre-season is all about, like I said many times, it's all about fitness, getting the players ready. He scored 5 goals. Yes, top notch. Well done. Our strikers on form. It's, for me, just get that ready. Going into the first game of the season, going into the Premiership, start scoring them goals. He's now put out a marker for Haalands and the Darwins and all them lot to say, you know what, boys, I'm still the main man in the Prem. And Salah, obviously. He's telling all these lot, I'm still the main man. You want to come? Come at me. Come at me, fam. Yeah, that's what he's saying to them. Come at me. Because he's going to be ready. And I'm not worried about Kane, because I know everyone knows what Kane does. So we don't need to worry about it. We just forget about everybody else. We just do what we've got to do. And we know he's going to be firing. And I'm just impressed with the vibes and the things he's saying. So for me, you know what? Kane is Kane. He's always been Kane for the last couple of seasons. So let's continue.
As our expert in the transfers, what do you think of all this Bayern Munich talk? Is it just talk?
It's talk. It's the media outlets doing the usual. They've seen what's happening at Spurs. Let's stop putting pressure on Spurs. Let's stop let's put some pressure on Kane. Let's come out with these rubbish stories. Nagelsmann's turned around and said, I'd love him at my club, but unfortunately, he's contracted to Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. He's their player, and he's going to be impossible to get. So, end of conversation. But it's the outlets that are just stirring it, and let them stir it, because he's going to sign that new contract anyway, unless something drastic happens in the first month and Conte leaves and everything goes to pot. So I'm not even worried about these rumours. I'm not worried. Bayern Munich, you know what? Let the outlets and the media people start doing their rubbish, and Twitter people stop retweets and whatever. Let them do it. Let them do it, because it's the agenda, mate.
I couldn't see Kane leaving with Conte still at the club. Kane could and potentially could not sign a contract because he might wait to see what Conte does. And I would probably agree with that, because he doesn't want to get shafted again, being at a club where the ambition has changed if the manager moves on. At this moment in time, though, the ambition is clear. We can see from our transfer window activity. Some people say it's a really good transfer window. Others are saying, it's not, we ain't spent that money, we got 3 players. I think we're getting players in that we needed to get. We just haven't seen them all. The likes of Basuma, the likes of Perisic, that we know are going to make a difference in this team. Spence, obviously, if he comes good. Forrester, we know about. So there's players that will make a difference to us. Kane going to Bayern Munich, that's not happening. He don't want to go to Germany. Why would he? I understand about the Champions League thing. I understand about Bayern Munich win the league every year. But Kane's chasing records, I believe. So if he was going to go anywhere, it probably would have been to Manchester City last season. Nobody else in the Prem is going to get him, in my opinion, unless they come up with seriously silly money. But then again, why would he go to somewhere like Manchester United? Doesn't make any sense to me. Manchester City, we know about Haaland. Liverpool, I don't think that's happening. So here you go, Sean.
Yeah, Kane. I mean, Kane's too much of a homeboy. He's not going to go outside of England because he he's a record chaser. So he wants the Premier League record, and he'd have to stay in the Premier League to do that. So I think Bayern they're just whistling in the wind. To be fair, I hope he obviously stays with us. I'm not too concerned about him signing a contract. He will bide his time. He's got 2 years left. It becomes an issue next summer, but hopefully we've had a successful season. He's picking up club trophies, and he's more inclined to stay because I've been reading the biography of Francesco Totti, and he said, when he's retired, he said winning the Scudetto once with Roma was worth 10 with Juventus, and he was offered, a big contract to go to Real Madrid where he would have won, lots of stuff. And I think that's the same with Kane. If he was to win, the Champions League or the Premiership with us, it would mean more than going to Man City and picking it up just based on their financial power. I think I'm not worried about that. I'm not too worried about the contract. As you say, I think it's linked to Conte staying. Yep. Conte seems very happy. He's talking about our project. He's certainly given me the impression he's going to stay beyond the end of this year when the option to extend his contract comes in. If we have a really good season and we keep continuing to add, including in January, I think we're set for a golden period. Hopefully that's what I see, and let's not worry about it. Let's not get too worked out. Kane is on fire. He's fitter than he said. He's talking talking that the whole squad seems like a band of brothers. There's a sort of a focus that you haven't seen for a wee while now, and I'm hoping that this is the year that big smiles are all on our faces come May.
Well, I'm sure most of these viewers know my thoughts. Anyway, Sid.
I was just going to say, what they need to do is we need to start singing in the stands. Alicia Keys, in it. This Kane's on fire. But anyway, that's just me. This Kane is on fire.
As I said, I think it's linked in with Conte. I can't see. Kane's always said if the club shows ambition, he's very happy at Spurs because he obviously wants to win things. But I think the personal records really are what he's looking for. In a similar way to how Ronaldo did. I know Ronaldo's obviously got all the other accolades as well, but he's chasing his own personal records. Kane would love to sit at the top of that and have 261 goals. and beat Alan Shearer. That would be magnificent because I thought that record would never, ever be beaten. But there's an opportunity for a player who stays in the league for over 10 years and gets them 20 goals plus a season, which Kane has been doing. There's an opportunity, but he's going to have to play like he has been playing for the next 2, 3, 4 years to be able to get to Alan, because Alan's record is phenomenal. And let's have a look at a couple of comments. Hotspur Hustlers joined us in the house. Even chaps, Kane looks very happy and has commented on a differing vibe around the squad he's not experienced before. I think we all are seeing that. We're not experienced 6 players coming in before the transfer window that I'd even started. But yeah, we've got that. David Clark, especially if he gets a seller. So Kevin's saying he won't go to Germany because the pubs close at 10:30. That might be a good reason why he doesn't want to go. But yeah, let's see. I just think, as you said, that's paper talk, and there's all kinds of things that try and disrupt. But why is it always us that people want to try and disrupt? This David Clark. Let's hope it's not a bungalow. These guys are having a bit of a chat in here. But let's move on. Right, last part of the show. And this is where, Sid, you can start. I want you to give me your starting 11, what you would like to see come the game against Southampton. Obviously, we've got the game against Roma. I think it's going to be a bit of a mix and match, but I think we've now got to start homing into this first 11. And I think there's a few players that I know have to start, and there's a few players that I know should not be starting. What's your thoughts?
My thoughts. Okay, so in goal, Hugo Lloris. Right wing back's going to be Matt Doherty. Centre backs are going to be Romero, Dyer, and Longley, because Davis is injured. And your man is not even going to get a look in, because you don't want him to play at left centre back, do you now, Mr. Sanchez?
I'm saying nothing.
Exactly. So he's going to go with Longley at left. Left wing back is going to be Perisic. Middle's going to be Basuma and Højbjerg.
Ooh, interesting.
Yes. And I think then it's Kulu. Actually, it's a home game, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm going with Son and Kane. And I honestly believe that Richarlison's got a really good chance. Right? However,
controversial. I've got one. Yeah.
However, I think Richarlison's got a really good chance. But being the home game of the season, and we touched on this as well, and I think you said it, Sam, away games, I think Richarlison will start. But because it's a home game, I still think he's going to start with Kulu. So Kulu, Son, Kulu, Kane, and Son up top.
That's a good start 11. So for me, pretty much the same start. Now I'll come to you afterwards, Sean. I believe it's going to be Lloris in goal. I think that's obvious. Right wing back again. Emerson's can't play there. If Doherty's fit, Doherty has to start. If Doherty wasn't fit, I think Spence has to start. That's how much I don't want to see Emerson play, because it's a home game. Why not give the guy an opportunity to show up, us home fans? We still got another week or so and a bit before that game anyway. So even if Doherty wasn't quite 100%, I'm saying give Spence that opportunity. As you said, right-sided is going to be Romero, Dyer, barring any injury. Left centre back, as you said, Longley, got to be for me. I saw enough of him again, composed. Back two, I think he suffered in Barcelona because he was playing with Piqué, and back two, he's not the one, and particularly when they play such a high line at Barcelona, and it will try to play such a high line. And left fullback or wing back, I'm going with Perisic. Middle two, I'm saying, and I think I agree with you now, it's going to be Højbjerg, and I think it should be Basuma. Højbjerg, again, he looks like he's lost about half a stone because he looks very, very fit. And he was breaking into the box. He had that opportunity. I know he missed. We had that 3-on-1, but he was actually there. He was keeping up with Son almost, but messed up with the shot. But I think his leadership skills is what's going to make him more valuable in the team. And then the front three, I'm going to start with Richarlison, you know. I'm thinking Richarlison.
Sorry, Sam. What? I just realised, and thank you, Henry.
Oh,
he's out.
Henry, you've gone and sport it. But no, it's true. He's suspended because he did that flair thing, didn't he, in the last Everton. so he misses. So I think it's going to be the front threes we would normally see: Kulusevski, Kane, and Son. Yeah. What's your thoughts then, MisterK?
Based on nothing at all, I think it's going to be Lloris. The back three will be Romero, Dyer. Hopefully that wasn't too bad an injury on Saturday, and Longley, I think, because Davis won't be available, I don't think. Right wing back, I'd go for Doherty. Left wing back, I'd go for Perisic. My centre two, slightly different. I'm going Bissouma and Bentancur. And I think up front will be, the usual crew: Kulu, Kane, and Son.
Let's talk about that midfield too, because that's the area for me which there is definitely options. No Skip's injured currently. That's going to play if he doesn't get over this injury quickly, I'm not sure if Conte's going to have much patience. Because he needs. I know he said he's a really good player. I know he's talked about him a lot, but if he doesn't recover quite quickly, I think we might be looking for another player in midfield, and that might even speed up us getting a attacking midfielder who could have a bit of a box-to-box. James Maddison fits that bill to me, so he could fill in for that. But let's have a look and see. But I think Skip's going to need to really be over that injury very quickly, because he's going to miss out. Well, he's not going to miss out, but he's not going to play the games that I would expect him to play if he doesn't. Bentancur. The reason I don't think Bentancur and Bissouma quite yet, not because I don't think they're dynamic enough, because that's what I want to see, but that leadership thing. If we didn't have Dyer in that game, well, we didn't have Dyer in most of that second half, and the back five looked shoddy in terms of organisation. And Højbjerg, if you'd taken him off earlier, we would have really been at the races, because I'm not sure we've got that many real leaders, players that play firm, that play by, how they play gives their skills in terms of leadership, but not a real leadership qualities. I don't know. Do you think that Bentancur and Bissouma would be the best two?
Yeah, I think so, because Bissouma likes to play deep. He can play deep, as we know, in the game against us last season. I think Bentancur has shown that he's good at breaking with the ball. I mean, first goal against Norwich, I think was down to him. I think he's comfortable on the ball. He doesn't seem to get flustered when surrounded. I mean, a number of times he sort of swiveled around on the edge of our box to clear the lines. I think I think it's an ideal pairing for me. I thought again. I know he's a leader, Højbjerg, and I wouldn't discount him from the squad, but I just think there were one or two moments where there was heavy touches and passes which were a bit astray. I just think I just see more fluidity with Bissouma and Bentancur, and that's what we need when it comes to progressing the ball up the field.
So I was going to say, Sid, what do you think of this comment? Dino's comment here.
Conte will keep faith with Bentancur and Højbjerg and experiment with Bissouma, advance and free. Do you know what? That's a good shout. I was just about to say, I think what he will do is, I think he, as much as I want him to start with Bissouma, I think Bentancur and Højbjerg is a proven partnership that he trusted last season, and it worked really well. And when Bentancur came on against Rangers as well, he was very aggressive. He was winning tackles, setting up play and stuff like that. So I think, as much as eventually I think it's going to be Bissouma and Bentancur as the partnership, I think he will probably start with Bentancur and Højbjerg, because it's a trusted partnership and he knew how it worked last season. So I think he'll start off with them. And then, like Dino's saying, I think Bissouma is going to be bought in to eventually, I think, take over from Højbjerg with Bentancur. But I think it's too soon for Bissouma and Bentancur or Bissouma and Højbjerg to happen straight away. I think he'll go with the trusted partnership.
What might be interesting will be the TV picks next Saturday.
Yeah, but
I think the team next Saturday will give us quite a good indication for previous Saturday.
But what I'll add to that is, we also forgetting that we are playing in the Champions League, so the type of football we play is going to have to be different. It's a different type of football playing in the Champions League. As well as that, some of the away games that we have, and even some of the home games where you're playing like the likes of I would say the the ones who are going to be the front runners, the Manchester Cities, the Liverpools, the United, Arsenals, you can probably count them in there as well. Chelsea as well. You might want to adapt to make a free in midfield or play different combinations to maybe adapt to how they're playing. Because, if you haven't got the ball as much, you need to do something differently with how you then defend in midfield. If you've got more of the ball, you'd have to play differently in how you advance the ball. So there could be an opportunity for a 3 in midfield, depending on how they play it. And I would then consider playing, if it was a 3, I would play Højbjerg just behind in front of them. I'd play Basuma and what's his name? Bentancur, because I think they've both got the ability to join back with Højbjerg at any given time because they're both athletic enough, but they also can break, as you were saying, Sean, into the areas higher up, advance into the pitch where we can maybe hurt teams. But we still lack that Eriksen. I guess I'm going to use his name. We've lacked that Eriksen type player. So do you think we're going to get one? Sid, what's your thoughts?
You'll have to watch 6 days, won't you, on a Friday?
I knew he was going to do that.
I've already told you that we are going to get a one, and we discussed this the other day, and it's the possibility is Roma's, Zaniolo's the more likelihood out of the two. And I think it's happening. I think that is happening. Whether it happens before the first game of the season or whether it happens next week or by this end of this week, but there's a lot of it's hitting the waves, and it's getting hot in here.
You see, people, let me tell you something. You have to join Friday nights because our Sid says now he's ITK Sid. Definitely, you got to find out what's going on. So join Friday, 7:30ish, 8 o'clock-ish.
8 o'clock.
That'll be us there, won't it? So look at this. So David Clark saying we beat Man City twice and drew with Liverpool playing 3-4-3. Conte won't change that. You know what? I think he might. Because some of the other team, it wasn't so much those games I was worried about. It was when we had to break teams down, or when we, had teams like Brighton, for instance. Brighton worked us out. They put and flooded the midfield, and we couldn't do anything, even when we had our best midfield 2 in there. So we're going to have to be adaptable to different ways of playing, because teams know, if they know Conte's got a blueprint of a 3-4-3, I can work out now what the best blueprint is to play against it. Whether you have the talent and the ability in your side to be able to combat it is a different matter. But better teams, Champions League, will 100% know how to play against us. So we are going to need to have some sort of adaptability.
But on that one as well, Sam, last season, if you look at that bench in them games, the Burnleys, the Southamptons, the Brightons, Conte looked at that bench and then just looked straight back onto the pitch. But now he can look at that bench and potentially he could have skipped Basuma, Perisic, Richarlison. You could have all of them on the bench. That will change games when they come on. So it might. I think what David's saying is probably right. With that 3-4-3, he's now got surplus of players that he can bring on, knowing we can change the game.
Well, remember also we played 5 in the middle at home against Liverpool. I mean, 2 weakened squads to be fair, but we did play 3 in the middle. So he may well change, and we don't know what Liverpool we're going to face. I mean, today I'm reading that Firmino's going to Juventus, so they're having a real clear out. So
they're on a rebuild. They're 100% on a rebuild.
Yeah, they're on a rebuild.
Yeah. So I mean, it seems 3-4-3 is going to be the sort of bread and butter, but I think, as you say, we'll have an option. I'm not sure about Basuma being the one ahead of those 3 that you talked about.
You don't think?
But no, I think.
I get. In terms of how he's played, I
think he plays better at the back. I would maybe try Højbjerg, and he's sort of like Danish style thing. He's done some stuff, some bits there. But yeah, I mean, I would like to see. I'd like to see us try 3-5-2, as you know, and maybe we'll just put Kulu in that gap. Who knows? So we'll see.
There's a few options. There is a few options.
Mm-hmm.
Go on, Sid.
I was going to throw something in there, but I've just realised, no, I'm going to wait till Friday because I've got something on my mind, and I just want to see how all of you lot are. There's a forgotten player that we've been linked with quite a lot recently. And
don't mention any names because we've got to make sure the viewers tune in for Friday.
That's what I'm saying, because we mentioned him a lot. We would link with him quite highly, and then it's just disappeared. And I'm like, why haven't we? Because apparently he's been linked to some other clubs, and I thought, hold on a second, this guy would be ideal. But we have to tune in on Friday because this one's a good one.
Mark P, Sam, has Sid nicked your sign? Let me just say, because I'm elsewhere at the present time and I haven't got all my backgrounds in the end, the green screen and all the rest of it, he has nicked my sign. But the sign will be coming back soon.
Hold on. I haven't nicked your sign. We're a team. We're a fam. Paxton Road fam
Band
sign.
of brothers.
That's right.
No, it's still my sign. David Clark saying the answer to a low block is not a number 10. It's having players going beyond opponents, forcing defenders to leave their position. Yeah, that's part of it, but it's also moving the ball quickly. It's also spreading the play as quick as you can, switching play. There's lots of different ways you can break down a low block, but having someone that can make that threaded ball when it needs to be made, that's what's going to break down. That's in the killer areas where teams have just got to, switch off for a second. Someone finds that pass, and we've got, as I said, killers up front in Kane and Son and Kulishevsky, to be fair, who can knock them in. So yes, David, I agree, but there are different ways to be able to break down low blocks. Mike, you have a fair point, David. He does have a fair point. I've tried to not combat it, but I tried to add to it. Sid, Delhi scored twice against Blackpool.
Absolutely. And you know what? Well done, Delhi, for scoring 2 against them scumbags, because obviously my hometown is Preston and Blackpool are our enemies. So well done, Delhi. Well done, Delhi.
Delhi gets around.
Who's Delhi?
Delhi. What do you mean? We've got
well done.
Delhi.
Well done, Sean.
Delhi.
Who is Delhi? Who is he?
Stop it.
We're not even going to get 20 mil from if they sell him before he plays his 20 games.
He's still better than Ozil.
And the rumours are that he's up for sale, so...
Oh, that's terrible.
It means nothing.
It's terrible. He's done. He's done.
Sell him. He's not.
He's done, man. He's done. I don't care what he does now.
He'll be back somewhere.
Done.
Yeah, MK Dons, back where it all started.
He's finished.
He'll be back.
So, one more official preseason game to go against our favourite ex-manager, or one of our favourite ex-managers. I think Nuno was our favourite. He was the favourite. But Jose was a close second in terms of my favourite manager. Joke, tongue in cheek. So we played Jose Mourinho's Roma on Saturday. Are we playing at home? We are, aren't we? We're playing at White Hart Lane.
No, we're not.
We're not.
We're playing in Israel. Of course we are, because this is the controversy that we are surrounded by. But we're not going to get into that too much. There is a game that, potentially is a bit controversial. But anyway, we're playing them in Israel. We won't go into too much more, but I'm hoping. What are you actually hoping for in that game? Is it a case of seeing a team that's close enough to the starting 11, or experimenting just before to see? Because it's going to be a competitive game. We are playing Jose Mourinho, don't forget.
Yeah, there's no love lost between Jose and Antonio, so I would imagine it will be spicy. Ali Gold has already said he's hoping to get into Mourinho's pre-match presser to ask him a few questions, probably pointed questions. I'd imagine Jose will be box office in terms of, stirring it up. I mean, I do have Roma in my heart too, because they are my favourite Italian team. It saddens me to see that the current coach, but I'm a bit in a minority there, because obviously he won the Conference League and
they love him.
They hadn't won anything for ages. So we're a competitive game, good European test, a bit like the Sevilla game. Roma play counter-attack football, as we would expect with Mourinho. So we need to be able to cope with that. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, you'll get to see some really good players in the Roma team. Maybe even Zaniolo before he signs for us, hopefully.
ITKC on Friday. Don't forget, people. ITKC.
But yeah, I mean, and also there's been talk about Rodon being loaned to Roma for a season, so it could be, there could be. I'd imagine PRTv and Pinto, I think is the sporting director of Roma, will be talking off field, so they'll be interesting. They've just got Dybala, of course, so we'll probably see him. It should be a good game. 7:00, I think, on Saturday night. So it's a late one.
Let me just add to David Clark. I was only joking when I said about those managers being my favourite, David. They're nowhere close to being my favourite. Sid, the game, I know It's a controversial game for you on Saturday, but if you are going to do the watch along, which we're going to do on Saturday, if you do join us, I know you've got possible reasons for not, but that's different now. What do you think? Is it going to be very competitive in terms of Jose Mourinho? You know what he's like. He doesn't like losing. Conte doesn't like losing, and they're very competitive managers. You know, they're on a similar type of trajectory. A lot of people have compared how they are in terms of their characters, very different in terms of their management and in terms of how they play. But in terms of their characters, I guess they're very fiery, very passionate. What do you expect to see?
It'll be a fiery game. I don't think it's going to be a friendly game. I think it's going to be a game that both teams are going to be up for it, and they're going to go hammer and tongue at it. Like you said, both managers will want to win. There'll be players on that pitch that will want to win as well. I believe Spence will start as a right back, and I think Perisic will start at left back, and I think Longley will start at left centre back. Because they need to get a run out. So I think them three will start the game, and then whether he changes it at half time, but I think them three will start the game with a view to potentially starting on Sunday against Southampton. I think Basuma will start as well. So it's going to be an interesting, and I think the players that started second half against Rangers or that came on will be the ones that'll start, like I mentioned, and it'll be a fiery game because neither manager will want to lose the game, and there'll be players on there that will want to not lose the game either. And I just wished Dybala was Brazilian because I wanted to see Romero kick the shit out of him.
That wasn't very nice to end on that, was it? We're going so well as well.
How many times he kept rejecting us, and then he's gone to Mourinho. So, you know what? Sorry.
Kick the shit out of him, indeed. So thank you to those watching and commenting. David Clark, Dino Dinosaur, Hotspur Hustler as usual. Mark P in the house. We had Kevin Murray, Henry Sago as well. Thank you for watching. Mojo as always. We see you. Derek Hutchinson. There's a few of it. NS Sports TV, again, thank you very much. Chelsea fan, but he's enjoying our content here, which says a lot. It says a lot because I don't like Chelsea. Anyway, I like you, NS. Huh? I like NS.
Come and join us and do what every other player's doing and reject Chelsea.
I mean, we should be asking you what happened last night against the unmentionables.
Ooh, we don't want to talk about that because that's nasty. If you're getting slapped up by them in pre-season, they're talking like they're going to win the league now because they beat you lot, Chelsea. Oh, dear me. Roma 2, Spurs 4, Kane 2, someone, Basuma, not Basuma, but I'll let you have that one, David. And big up Paxton Road here from, was it 10-0 football?
Yeah.
New
10-0, yeah.
Thank you. Make sure you all hit that like button. Everybody watching now, hit the like button. If you're watching on catch up, hit it as well. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new. We've got lots and lots of content coming up. We've got watch alongs coming up on the weekend for the game. We've also got Sid Says on Friday. We have Sean who's going to be doing a new show. I'm not even going to mention because I don't even know what the title's going to be yet. I don't even yet. But we're going to have Sean Hurl who's going to be debuting on this season fully. Deji Spurs is also going to be on here doing review shows as well. So we've got plenty to come, guys. And we're just about to start the season. Are you excited? Less than 2 weeks away, Southampton. I'm so excited because I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. Ah!
Me too.
You know what? I think, Sean, what we need to do is every time we come to the end of the show, right, just before Sam speaks, because I know what he says week in, week out, the same thing.
I'll tell you what we need to do after Saturday is keep him off watch-alongs. He'll have a heart attack.
Sean, what we need to do is just before he comes to this part, we just need to play, I am so excited. I cannot hide it. I'm about to lose control and I think I like it.
Oh, guys, you cannot take the excitement away from me. I'm just opening day games are always great.
Remember, just to bring you down, first game Southampton, last season we lost. Second game Chelsea, we lost. Third game Wolves, we lost last season. So just
remember,
calm our jets.
Not the very first game of the season.
And remember who we now have manager. Remember that?
No. Our very first game of the season, Nuno, was against Manchester City, was it not?
Yes, it
at
was.
home, and we won 1-0. We shouldn't have won, but we did.
We didn't beat Southampton with Conte in charge.
Yeah,
we
but
didn't
that
beat
was not
Wolves
the
with
first
Conte
game of the
in charge.
season, Sean. Stop
Forget
trying
about
to.
that.
You're trying to mash up my vibes now. I'm not having it.
about
We're
I'm not
gonna
mashing up your
win.
boys. I'm just giving you a little bit of, a little
You're
bit
bringing me
of
down to earth.
tranquility,
You're bringing me down to earth, and I'm
Yes.
staying high. I'm staying high. Yeah. Anyway, viewers, you don't want to hear us having our little bit domestic there. Make sure you tune in.
No domestic.
You see,
I'm as
it's-
excited
Guys,
as you.
come
I'm
on,
just-
we're gonna start losing viewers. We need to go.
Sam and I will never.
Oh yeah, it's
fall
9
out.
o'clock. It's
Never
9
fall
o'clock
out.
as well. Is that still on, by the way? That program that we
Apparently.
don't. Oh, apparently it's still on. That's why some viewers are deciding they're going to get off. Yeah, so we're going to get off as well.
Where's Mark? Where's Mark? He's not.
It's Mark here. No, he's not here anymore. He's gone. He popped in, said he's been gone. He's gone to watch it, ain't he? Yeah, that's what he Mark put. He come with his cheeky one.
When is that finished? For God's sake, surely it must be over by now.
I don't know if it finished December or something like that. I don't know. It's just bloody. It's going on and on. I don't care. We're done. Thank you guys. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sid. Look out for Sid. Sid says on Friday, me and you, Sid, won't we? We'll be doing that again, going through that. And look out for Sean Hell's specials. They're coming soon. And also the what? Oh, I'm boosting you, man. That's all good, man. Paxton Road TV in the house. We're doing bits. We're doing bits.
It's good. I've been doing my research.
Wicked. Oi. He's going museums as well, people.
I know. And the trailer, we're making a trailer at the moment because she's coming back. Judge Jodi's coming back. So we're going to be doing our trailer for a Luke who's coming back to a screen near you.
Hey, I'm sorry, Mark popped up again. He said, thanks, boys. Great video on the Kane Museum, Sean. And now he's gone again because he's gone to watch his program. Hello, football. No, never been a fan of that show. Paxton Road stream is greater than Love Island. Thank you very much. Not everybody agrees with you, though, Tenno. But yeah, we're going to go now so everybody can enjoy the rest of their evening. Thank you very much for watching. Again, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Hit that like button. It helps us out tremendously. And thank you for all your comments. And you can leave comments after the show as well. No problem. But that's it. Sid, Sean, we out.
Come on, you.
It's just different.